Have you ever noticed anything weird about the new tab of the Rec Room Play menu? Let's just look at some random rooms from the new tab. So first up, we have costume.park_vibes3. And then right under it, we have super costume vibes, which is a different room, I promise. Oh, this one's a classic. It's rainbow and friends._park1, my favorite Rec Room room. Costumes in a park. Costume fun hangout. FNF Hangout RP. What is going on here? Why is every single room on the new tab the same exact 5 rooms over and over again? My friends, what if I told you that this was no accident and that the majority of these rooms on the new tab were created over and over again by the same groups of people for money and for clout? Let's take a look at Rec Room's ring of new tab republishers. First off, I want to make it clear that there is a big difference between simple low quality rooms in Rec Room and rooms that intentionally take advantage of the algorithm. I'm not gonna get mad at some random kid for just making a really simple parkour room or something. Everyone's gotta start somewhere. No, the people in rooms that I'm talking about today intentionally put out bad room after bad room in order to get tokens and take advantage of the algorithm, so I don't really feel all too bad talking about them. Also, I had to censor all creator names from this video anyways due to Rec Room's code of conduct. So let's actually take a look at some of these rooms for you to get a better idea of what's going on here. Guys, oh my gosh, welcome to my favorite room in Rec Room, Costume Park Vibes 3. Now let's just first examine this room a bit and look at it on its own. This room is essentially a big box with a bunch of theme park rides, bright colors, costumes, and playgrounds inside of it. A little bit childish so far, but nothing too bad. However, if you go to the room page and you scroll down to the inventions used, you'll see that basically every single costume or ride or literally anything in this room is just an invention that was made by someone else. Now, in my opinion, this is a little bit scummy and low effort, making an entire room out of other people's inventions, but it technically isn't against the rules. However, what is against the rules is that to get to this main area of the map, I had to walk through or right by not 1, not 2, but 3 massive buttons telling me to subscribe to the creator. And it doesn't even stop there because, as I'm sure you can see, literally right behind me, there are cheer buttons and subscribe buttons placed all over the room. So already this room is breaking the creator code of conduct, but it gets worse. Welcome to Costume Park Vibes 2, which is different from 3, and it's another room that's on the new tab right now. So you know, you may have noticed that it's the same damn room. And you better believe that to get to this main area, I had to walk through the same damn 3 massive subscribe buttons. So this is another violation of Rec Room's creator code of conduct. You aren't allowed to republish the same room multiple times to get more visits or tokens. Literally the only difference that I can notice with this room from the last one is that there is a giant blue railgun over there that I'm sure costs like 1,000 tokens. Oh, sorry, my bad. It actually costs 3,500 tokens. And would you believe me if I also told you that there was a Costume Park Vibes 1? Well, you better, because I just switched to it right now. I'm in it right now. And you better believe that to get to this main area, I had to walk through the same damn 3 subscribe buttons. We also have Super Costume Vibes, which I will give credit, it has a different layout. You know, it's pretty much all still the same inventions in it, but you take what you can get. Also, to give credit where it's due, this room is different because to get here, I had to walk through 4 sets of subscriber buttons, not just 3. Here is a different Costume Park Vibes. This one just doesn't have periods separating the words in the title. And here is a different Costume Park Vibes 2. Sorry, I'm trying to use my head to block the name on the massive profile link button back there, which there are, again, a million of in this room. Oh yeah, did I forget to mention that all of the rooms you've seen in this video so far are made by the same person? Okay, I think you probably get the idea by now. If you look at this creator's portfolio, you'll just see a mountain of rooms that are republished, low effort, and have a ton of subscribe buttons in them. We've only really looked at costume parks so far, but that isn't even the only genre of commonly republished rooms. There's also ragdoll rooms, speeding wall rooms, kill AI rooms, roleplay rooms, sandbox rooms. And I assure you that every single one of these genres of rooms has the same amount of republished clones as the costume parks do. We've only really got an up-close look at these costume parks so far because if we looked at every one of these kinds of rooms, then we would be here forever. And I'd again like to say that there's nothing really wrong with these kinds of rooms on their own. The problem here is how they're being republished and abused for the benefit of the creators. Speaking of the creators, we've only really focused on one for most of this video because they are easily the most prevalent that does this kind of thing. But I assure you that there are many other creators who do this exact same thing. Here's a look at another portfolio from another creator who does the same thing, republishing rooms for the new tab. You might notice that it looks very similar to the last one because all of these rooms are just the same thing. In fact, a lot of the most prevalent creators who do this kind of thing share co-owner on multiple of these rooms together. That's how you know that this is like an organized operation in this group of people. So we know the how, we know the who, now we gotta wonder why. Why are people doing this to take advantage of the new tab? Well, I think pretty obviously at this point, the number one reason is just clout. They want subscribers, bragging rights, and popularity. And I mean, just looking at these creators' subscriber counts, it's clearly working. They are some of the most subscribed players in the game. According to their bios, most of these creators are around 14 years old, so definitely on the younger side. And also, these are the kinds of people who will go into Discord servers to brag about how much money and subscribers they have. And that kind of brings us into what I originally thought the main reason was gonna be, of course, money. I mean, why does anyone do anything, right? However, after really looking into this, I've come to the conclusion that because these kids are younger, they genuinely care about the clout and subscribers more than they care about the money they could be making from this. Looking at these rooms, there's subscriber buttons placed everywhere telling people to subscribe, but there's very few actual keys that people can buy. I mean, yeah, in that one room, there was the comically overpriced giant gun, but that's basically it. Access to all of the costumes and rides in these rooms are free. You don't have to pay for any of the costumes. If they're really trying to maximize the money they make with this, then they should be throwing way more stuff that you have to pay for in these rooms. Just because of how many of these rooms there are and how many tens of thousands of visits they have, I'm sure that they're making some decent money from the keys that are in the rooms. But as a room creator myself, I can basically assure you that they're not making anywhere near what the top creators in Rec Room are making. However, there is one more money-making method that some of these people use that I want to discuss real quick. And that method is being promoters for other people's rooms. I would like to say that as of now, I don't have a ton of hard evidence for what I'm about to say, and a lot of it's based off just whisperings I've heard from other people in the community. So take everything in this section with a grain of salt. Basically, because these creators have so many subscribers through their republished rooms, a lot of smaller creators trying to genuinely make rooms will pay them to promote their room and get it visits. This promotion can come in the form of subscriber announcements being sent out to hundreds of thousands of people, or I guess just being co-owner on their room. Here you can see one of these subscriber announcements sent out that's promoting this room. However, I'm not sure if this is someone else's room that they were paid to be co-owner on and promote, or if it's a room that they genuinely helped work on. That's why I gave the disclaimer at the start. It gets kind of tricky and it's hard to tell what's a promotion and what isn't. I also think that maybe smaller creators who want more subscribers will pay these republishers to get co-owner on some of their republished maps. And then of course, because there's buttons in those rooms everywhere telling people to subscribe to the creators, then that one creator who's co-owner will get more subscribers they can then use in the future for their own rooms. Basically what I'm trying to say here is that I'm 99% sure there's a market in Rec Room for people to promote other people's rooms, and also that when you have a lot of subscribers, there's a lot of ways you can make money from it. This has been a problem plaguing the new tab for months now, but there is good news. Rec Room is working to fix this issue as we speak. I've talked to a staff member who's been advocating internally at Rec Room to have this fixed for well over 6 months at this point, and they said they're going to start experimenting with fixes for this as soon as 2 months from now. I think that this fix is going to be an algorithm change that makes it so these rooms aren't so heavily promoted on the new tab. Just banning these creators isn't going to work, because even if they get banned, new people will come in to take their place and do the exact same thing. I'd like to again mention to please not go find or harass anyone that I talked about in this video. Most of them are younger, and it's literally Rec Room. It's not that big of a deal. Did you know that Rec Room banned junior accounts? Open parenthesis, kinda, closing parenthesis. Well, if you didn't, there's a whole video about that right here, so click on that. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.